It's Tuesday, May 18th, and this is the Bible study. Glad you could clue in. I know I get calls every week. Folks are asking me, hey, when are we going to do Tuesday nights again? When are we going to fire that up? Well, as our men's studies are winding down and the women's studies are winding down, and then we're going to be going to the beach, sometime after June, we're going to be firing up Tuesday nights. So be praying for us and continue to pray for the church and all that's going on with us there. And, continue to support and keep us in your mind, in your thoughts, in your hearts and prayer. And we'll see you soon, that's for sure. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about, let me just say that everything that I'm about to share with you was born of a conversation I had just recently with a very dear friend of mine. We were complaining about our shoulders around New Year's. It was around the holidays, and we're getting older. We're complaining about our shoulders, and I said my shoulder hurts too. And well, before you knew it, he had to go to an emergency room, and he discovered that he's got cancer, and it's a stage 4 cancer. It's metastatic, so it's traveled. It's in a few of the organs in his body, and he's been going through chemotherapy. He had to learn to walk again. I mean, there were all kinds of things that happened as a result of the location of the cancer tumors that he had. But he said something to me that was amazing. This is the worst time in his life. I mean, in the midst of a global pandemic, on New Year's Eve, he finds out that he's got cancer. Now, he's got no job, no future, nothing to hold on to, and he's terminal on top of that. But he said something that just blew me away. It defies all logic. And he said this: I have a strength and a peace that I've never had before. Now, bear in mind, this guy's been a believer for a lot of years, but he said, now I have a peace that I've never had in my whole life. I mean, peace at a time like this? I mean, John Lennon sang it. He said, all we are saying is give peace a chance. But really, how do I get some peace? I mean, our world has anything and everything but peace. And this verse came to mind. It was Isaiah 26, verses 3 and 4. It says, you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for Yah, the Lord, is everlasting strength. I immediately thought of that verse. And the thing that struck me about it is you will keep him in perfect peace. But when you transliterate that verse, it says you will keep him, if we could take it from Hebrew to English, you will keep him in perfect shalom, shalom. And this is typical for a Jew. They'll say something twice to simply emphasize the drama of what they're saying. So you will keep him in shalom, shalom. For the emphasis, God promises not just peace, but he keeps us in shalom, shalom, which is double peace. And God promises not just to give us peace, but to give us double peace, perfect peace in a time like that. And we all get peace every once in a while. I mean, we get peace when we have a drama-free relationship, or when the bills have been paid, or maybe you came into a huge windfall that give you a nice night's sleep, and you get a bucket full of money from a relative who passed on, or maybe you had a great day or a great week or a great month or a great year. Oh, well, that'll give you peace. But that kind of peace depends on everything around it. It depends on outside factors. So the peace there is everything's okay, and we have peace as long as everything's okay. But God has a peace that defies all logic on the table for you and for me, even now, tonight. So the big question is going to be from you, how do I get that peace? Well, there's one proviso, and that's all I wanted to talk to you about tonight. This will keep you and sustain you even when life is throwing you curveballs. See, the proviso is this: Isaiah 26, verse 3, you will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is fixed on you. Think about God. Think about his perspective, about life from his perspective, his thoughts on things concerning life. Um, See, we all have options, and there are challenges that are inevitably coming your way and mine. And so the thing is, how do I maintain, even though I get a bad diagnosis, bad news? I mean, we just come on a tail end of tax time, bad news there. What can sustain you even in the middle of every challenge that life can throw at? How can I hold it together when everything else around me is falling apart? I want to read it again. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's a dark, malevolent force at work out there in our world trying to constantly get our minds captivated. There are forces out there trying to keep us off base, and they're working to keep our mind on different things, trusting in things that can't keep or sustain you. Getting your mind on things that distract you, obsessive things, trying to get you connected to this earth and to this life rather than connected to heaven itself. I'll never forget, Jesus talking to his disciples. He's been telling them about what's going to happen. They haven't been listening. He's also been saying that he's going away now. And keep in mind, these guys have left everything, their homes, their families, their businesses, their jobs, to follow this Galilean preacher. And what they thought was maybe this was the spoken one, the one that everybody had been praying for, the one that the nation had been hoping for, that would raise up the glory of the kingdom of David once again. But he says he's leaving, and now they're freaking. But he told them this: peace I leave with you. He says, I'm going to go, but I'm going to leave you my peace. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. He was basically saying, I have something on the table for you that is here. And the way to access that is to make sure, let not your heart be troubled, and let it not be afraid. I mean, that's easier said than done, but what he's giving us, he was giving them, and over their shoulders to us, he's giving us the way to walk in and to maintain perfect peace. You can't let the outside influences dominate your thinking. I said dominate your thinking. I didn't say just put it out of your mind, because there are things in this world we need to be aware of. Things like laws, things like taxes, things like working and eating and bills, and all of those things come in. Relationships. But here's the thing. He says, don't let those things control what you're thinking. Back to my friend again, the guy I was talking to. He said something that was so provocative to me. He said, before this moment, before this, I felt like if it came to faith and church, I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. He always felt like he was kind of missing it, or there was something he wasn't getting all the way. Now he says, now I'm all in. God has my attention. I mean, he invited me out to eat with him, and he brought his Bible with him. Do you know how many times I have lunch with people who never bring their Bible? But this guy's got an old Bible. He's got it firmly gripped in his hand. His mind is fixed on the Lord. And this is what he said: there are so many opportunities to share my peace and my joy with people now more than I ever had. And he was talking about how he goes in and he has to get chemotherapy, and he's sitting in a chair. Well, every time he goes, he's stationed right next to a guy who happens to be a philosophy major. And now my friend, he's not a philosophy major. He's been a tradesman his whole life. He's, you know, got a high school education, but that was about it. But he's been sharing with this philosopher. And the moments have been precious and they've been powerful because he can philosophize all he wants, but you can't philosophically talk your way through the gentleman that's sitting right next to him. This man who has incredible, perfect peace and strength and joy, and he's talking about it. He's sharing with as many people as he can. Now, I've seen this time and time again. It's not an empty hope. It's not, well, you know, you believe what you believe, I believe what I believe kind of a thing. I want you to know that Jesus actually conquered death. He's alive. He walked a perfect sinless life. He was subjected to all the challenges that life throws at you and life throws at me, even more so. Yet he did it, trusting God every step of the way. He defeated death. Your death and my death. He defeated it. And then what he did is he rose above it on the third day. I was reminded of a song we used to sing years ago. And when that truth grabs you, oh, it changes everything. We used to sing, whatever is true, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely. And then we would say, we will fix our thoughts on these things. And then we'd sing the chorus, Jesus, who is like you. And we just keep repeating it. What a wonderful song that was. How it would recalibrate my thinking again. I want to read to you those very words from the Bible, for the song was written from the scriptures, Philippians 4, 8 and 9. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, if there's anything praiseworthy, he says, meditate on these things, marinate on them. And then he proclaims. I mean, he's been walking with the Lord for a while now, and he's found this to be true. And this is what he wrote. The things which you've learned and received and heard and saw in me, these do, and the God of peace will be with you. If we keep our thoughts elevated, our lives will get elevated by him. That's why he said, he will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is fixed on you, because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for Yah, the Lord, is everlasting strength. I pray that this helps you, that maybe tonight, maybe you could do something like shut off the TV and maybe just sit down and read the word. Maybe, just maybe you could shut off the TV, read the word, and then find a station on Sirius or a local station on the radio that's playing some Christian music and get your mind in tune with the God of peace. See, he is the God of peace. Remember, they called Jesus the Prince of Peace? And when you're fixed on him, guess what? He brings that peace with him. God bless you. I pray that you have an amazing, peace-filled walk with God this week. God bless you guys.